Good afternoon. I'm Tanya Miller. This is Kandise Finley. I presented the last time under duress. This time I actually volunteered. A little bit different than last time. Last time was more active learning where I had the volleyball and the games. In contrast to that, after talking to the students, they're wanting better ways to study. Well, I had actually one student come up to me and talk to me about Notebook LM, Google Notebook LM. I'm too busy preparing for class to even go out and see what else is actually new. We sat down and looked at it, and the presentation is more of, it's listen to level up. We provided podcasts, or maybe not. Here, I don't know, right here. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Okay, sorry. You'll get nope. Something in the corner is moving everything. I don't know. Can we enter? Yes. Nope. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Nope. You broke it. Hold on. What I get for AI. It works sometimes. There you go. Try that. There we go. All right. So we did AI generated podcasts, and it's revived our students' attention. There is a lot of information that goes into a nursing lecture. Sometimes it can be just a couple of chapters, or it can be like my last one where there was like 9 chapters. 9 chapters on mood disorders and mental health is a lot to try and consume at one time. Working with Notebook LM, we've been able to upload our lectures in PDF format, and it actually generates a podcast between 8 and 15 minutes long. A lot of our students drive a long way. Gives them something to listen to, hence the listen to level up. We can get them to listen while they're driving. They're retaining a little bit more from the lectures. The key strength, it turns dense nursing content into useful formats quickly. It does not take a long period of time to get this done. Quick wins for the faculty. Engaging review podcasts in just a few minutes. You can be utilized in the classroom after lecture because you can actually do questions with one of the podcasts. You can actually interact with it and ask it questions and have it repeat back. Give you answers from your lecture. Students can also upload PDFs of lecture content and build a flashcard deck. Anybody that has a Google email can use this for free. It does have limitations, and we'll cover that shortly. Podcasts can be uploaded to Canvas for the students to listen to prior to and after lecture.
Additionally, students are able to create their own PowerPoint presentations in addition to what we've provided to them from our lecture. They can take the format of the podcast and enter it in and create a new lecture based on the information we've input into the system.
So why Google Notebook LM for a podcast? Utilize the free version. You upload a PDF of your lecture, and you can add any credible resources. It builds the podcast only from what you upload. It does not search the internet unless you have chosen that as a resource on the left-hand side, and I'll show you a screenshot of what that is. What it does is it prevents AI from hallucinating or bringing in extra material that you're actually not covering. It basically brings it straight down to what your lecture is, but in a condensed format for the students. So building it. On the left side, that's where your sources are. You upload your PDF of your presentation. You can also put in, for us, it would be ATI. I use Mental Health version 12. I can do that. It will search for that book. I can click on it, and it will use the book as a resource. Maybe I want to use National Institutes of Health. If it's something that I have in my lecture and I go over, I do a PHQ-9, which is an anxiety scale. it will bring that in and use it as part of the podcast as well. It will only bring in what you put up on that side. You can add, like I said, the textbook by name, search for the subject. Those are just a few of the options.
It is very important that you use input the current textbook that you're using, the version, edition. With us, there are multiple versions and editions of ATI, so it's very important that you put ours is 12.0 edition. Otherwise, it will pull information from other previous older editions.
So like on this side, the left-hand side, you search the web for your new sources. Adult Med-Surg, this was when I was first doing it. I do teach a little bit out of Med-Surg as well. The exam study guide. I went ahead and uploaded that so that it would incorporate it into my podcast. Module 5, Chapter 47, specifically my lecture. The nursing textbook bundle, because ATI is free game. RN Adult Med-Surg Nursing Edition 12.0. I didn't want that one, so I didn't select it. On the right-hand side of the studio, you choose what you want to do with the information you have input. Do you want an audio overview, a video overview? Do you want to build a quiz? You can even build a flash deck. It makes a mind map for you. Those are just a few of the options. And if your students, like I said, if they have a free Google email, they can upload this information and build this for themselves as well. These are some of the things you can do. Audio, video, mind map, a quiz, flashcards, infographic, a slide deck, a data table. What do you want to do with it? You pick. You don't have to do all of them. I've been doing the video overview and the audio overview. The students absolutely love it. Let me see if you have the question. This is just an example.
The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a topic that affects millions of people, but, can be really confusing. Bowel disorders. We're going to break down the huge difference between a gut that's just irritated versus one that's literally being attacked by the body's own immune system.
From what feels like a minor annoyance to a full-blown medical emergency. We're going to sort through all the confusion about what can go wrong in there, and we'll use our source material to guide us every step of the way.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with a big picture overview. Then we'll look at non-inflammatory and inflammatory conditions separately. After that, we'll get into the management playbook and then wrap up with the really crucial stuff, knowing when something becomes an emergency. Let's get right into it.
So with this, it gives them a little bit of a visual comedic view of it, but it takes the entire lecture and brings it back down to about 10 to 15 minutes. It picks out the most important parts of it. I listen to these before I upload them to make sure that they are what I want and that it does hit the points that I am looking for. These are for my visual learners as well as my audio learners. There are the other one, the audio podcast, that's a little bit longer, goes a little more in depth, and it doesn't have the pictures with it.
Welcome to...
Yep. Quick start. Start small. I wasn't sure what I was doing when I first got into it. Was I clicking buttons left and right? Yes. Did I have 16 different audio podcasts for the same lecture? Yeah. Then I had to pick the one I wanted. If you don't like the one that it gets for you the first time, do it again. It will give you a different overview the second time in a different way. It's the same material, but it just comes about a different format. Use a clear file name that helps your AI when you upload it, like I did, Chapter 54, Bowel Disorders. It lets it know what I'm uploading. Give specific instructions in your chat. If you decide to use an audio one where you can interact with it, put in here, explain like you're teaching to level 1 nursing students, and it will bring it down to that level. If you want level 4 nursing students, say that. Or focus on the safety considerations and nursing interventions. It will pull that from your lecture and go over that specifically. Then you can download your audio, upload it to Canvas.
So Tammy brought this wonderful information and shared it with me, and I happened to be teaching at that time, and she had not yet begun her teaching. So my students got to be the guinea pigs of the podcast, and they really did enjoy it. And I got to be the guinea pig of, did it work or did it not? So we did learn some things throughout that. The biggest is through listening before you produce or put out to your students is you always have to verify AI. AI is like an argumentative toddler. They always have an answer.
But it may not always be right.
It may not always be right. So always verify what is coming back to you from AI.
You want to teach them how to use it responsibly. It is not their only study tool. It is an adjunct to their studying. It does not replace lecture. It's an adjunct to lecture. It's a great adjunct, not a replacement for teaching. Downsides, like everything in life, it sounds good till it's not. You can only share it with Google email users. You cannot share it with a Northwest Florida email. You can only do a limited amount per month on the free subscription. It only lets you upload so many, and then you have to wait to the next month. It takes up significant space in Canvas to upload. That is a big downfall for me because I technically can only do one module and my Canvas course is full. So I've resorted to sending them out in emails. You can upgrade to unlimited notebooks for a monthly fee. Depends on how you subscribe as to what you pay for it. I'm a sucker. I pay for it. Because I like the ability to have the chats back and forth with the audio podcast. And it also does produce a transcript for you. That's what I was looking for, the word transcript. But like I said, my biggest deficit is the amount of space it takes in Canvas. But I found an alternate route with email, and they were happy with that. One tool, basically zero cost, significant time savings. You can make a podcast in less than 10 minutes. Upload your PDF, put it in there. If you want your other resources, pick them, come over to the side, pick audio overview. Less than 5-10 minutes, it's built it for you.
That being said, the input information is stuff that is information you've already built. So it's from lecture content, PowerPoints, Canva slides, things that you've already built that you're uploading or you're searching out sources for. So it does take that processing time of about 10 minutes to spit out a podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you put slides in, like PowerPoint slides in?
You have to convert your PowerPoints to a PDF.
Okay.
It will take a PDF, but it just does not take PowerPoint.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So, in summary, turns dense material into engaging multimodal resources, saves hours on routine prep work if you're doing study guides, if you're doing trying to find other ways to get your students to pay attention or absorb the information. It creates personalized learning supports quickly. If you have a student that's struggling in a certain area, have it produce a podcast for just that area for them or show them how. Offers audio learning options that reaches more students. It's only an adjunct, not a substitute. Has limitations on how often you can use it if you choose the free one. And to access all features, there is a fee. So we asked our students, how did you feel about it? I've actually been teaching now for a couple of weeks, so my students have had the opportunity to engage with it. In our course in NP2, I have a co-teacher that teaches the first few weeks, and then I teach the last weeks. My first student, I want to inform you the visual podcasts, in my opinion, are extremely helpful. It is a simple way to narrow everything down to just the basics, and then it helps me connect all of the slides. That was from K7. Finding time to sit down and study and really focus has been a really hard task during nursing school. The podcasts are perfect because I listen to them every time I'm in the car. That transformed a lot of time from driving to driving and studying. I am someone who usually is only I can't say the word today.
Kinesthetic.
Thank you, learner, but I really had to adapt after having a child. I put the podcast on in the background doing most daily tasks. This one over here, the podcast, is extremely beneficial to my comprehension of the material we cover in class. I live out by the Alabama line, so being able to listen to the material on the way to and from class helps me understand the process that is occurring in the body, as well as what my job is to help the client dealing with them. Last one, I wanted to highlight how much I enjoy the podcast you made available in this module. I can listen to tailored information specific to our lecture. You had the working, busy student in mind. I can listen to the podcast driving to work, walking my dogs, and cleaning my house. She's very progressive. I'm not going to listen to it cleaning my house. These are from MP4, which is Miss Finley.
As I said, these were the guinea pigs, the true guinea pigs, because as soon as Miss Miller shared with me this information, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I need, because I teach level 4 in addition to Miss Chris. We split that, we co-teach. And a lot of what we teach is rapid pace critical care information. So I had several students, or a few students, who responded to me. One said, I really thought they were helpful. I liked how it reteaches the lecture based off the PowerPoints and the study guide, depending on what is there in a more digestible way. I also really like the videos that the site can make for you. Another one said she really benefited from the podcast. It showed that her exam scores were higher on the modules that they're provided for. She has an hour drive to and from school, so she listens to them 1 to 2 times each way. She gave it a 7 out of 10. And then lastly, there's always a little bad with the good. This student chose not to listen after she realized they were AI created because she didn't find them to be very engaging. But she did offer an alternate podcast, straight A nursing podcast. But I will say, seeking out alternate podcasts that are not directly tailored to your lecture is not necessarily beneficial. She just did not like you heard bits of what it sounds like. So you can tell it is audio or computer generated, but it's not so much so that it's womp, womp, womp.
She didn't like the impersonal AI voices versus an actual voice. So, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Have you, just something to try for Canvas, have you thought about uploading them to YouTube and then linking Canvas?
I just learned about Google Notebook LM.
We actually were talking about the YouTube and actually this week we talked about that. So
because you can do them unlisted and stuff, so and then they can't access it without the link. But just something.
Yeah. We had discussed coming to talk to you guys. We had discussed coming to talk to you to figure out how we could make it better. But this was something I was trying to get in to see if it actually did help my students. Was it worth my time?
Yes.
And I have found, yes, it is. Even today, I had clinicals. I've been at Fort Walton Beach Medical Center since 6 o'clock this morning. My students today even made a comment because they have a test tomorrow. Are we going to get any more podcasts for tomorrow? No, ma'am, you're not. You have all your ones to get from now. But I said you can, if you have a Google email, upload the information and build you some more.
Okay.
So
we can help work with Canvas. So.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, because Kelly didn't like that I took up all the space. Any other questions?
When we go back in time and we all have this when we're in grad school.
I actually have a, like I said, I was at clinicals today, and there's a young lady there that's an LPN working, taking statistics. I have no idea if her teacher's in here. but she was having trouble. And I sat down and talked to her, and I actually pulled my computer out and showed her what I did for my students. So she has gone on and has now built it for her statistics class that she's taking because she's hoping to get into nursing school in the future. And she says, I take my test on the 4th. I will let you know how it does. She said, but I understand the material much better. So I even shared it with somebody outside the program. That's how impressed I was with it. It was too easy. Any other questions?
So I've built PowerPoints and infographics with it, and I've kind of learned by just putting around in there like we did. And when I found was when you download the PowerPoint, it downloads as an image, so you can't edit. But if you go into the sidebar and edit, you can go slide by slide and ask it to change things on that slide before you download. Do you have the option when you have the podcast there to listen and give feedback and say at this time marker, change this vocabulary?
I'm sure I do. Have I taken the time to get that far into it?
I believe there is. I've looked at it. I didn't have anything additionally that I wanted added to the podcast that I put out for my students. So I did see that there was a marker where you can edit.
Yeah, because I built a lot of mine over the holidays because I'm actually 2 days clinical, 2 days theory right now. So my time in front of the computer is a little bit limited, but I do plan on diving deeper into it. And we did use it the other day for kind of like a debating back and forth. It would ask questions and then, or the students would ask questions and it would answer. So it went really well. It was a change because nursing's not exactly, those days. Especially when we're talking about bowel disorders. No other questions? Thank you.
Go to find the email form, and then we will do a second drawing in just a couple minutes. Yeah.